Hey everyone, recently I made a video, this one right here, where I took a t-shirt design from Target and recreated it in Canva. And a lot of you loved that video, so I'm going to do it again. But this time I'm going to take a t-shirt from Walmart and do it in Canva, this one right here. And you'll notice it has a distressed texture. I'm going to show you how to do that in Canva as well. So let's get to it. I'm going to go to Walmart first, show you the design, how to take a snapshot of it, and then bring it into Canva. All right, so here we are on Walmart, walmart.com, and I'm just going to type in Father's Day t-shirt. There it is. Boom. And let's look for one, or the one that I showed in the beginning. It's in here somewhere, I'm sure. I'm going to scroll down, and there it is, Just Dad. Great. And we can go like this, and whoops, it's too big. So what I'm going to do is hit Command Shift 4 on a Mac. You see this right here, this kind of lines, and then I'll just click down, holding my mouse and dragging across like this, and that will take a screenshot and it will show up on my desktop. All right, so now that we have that on the desktop, let's go over to Canva, and I'm going to bring it in. Here I am in Canva. You can see I brought it in on this one. I'll click on this just to show you what I have here. So by the way, to start a new one on here, I guess I should do that first. Let's go back and go to Home, hit Create. If you haven't seen that video, it's real easy. Custom size 4500 by 5400. It just did it. If you don't have that 4500 by 5400, you can type it in. So you can do 4500 by 5400, but since I did it last time, it remembered the recent one here. And that size is the Amazon merch by Amazon merch on demand size. It used to be called Amazon merch or merch by Amazon. And that works for every t-shirt design POD site. So this size will work on Printify if you're selling on Etsy, or work on TeePublic, Redbubble, or even Shopify if you're selling with Printify. So I like this size. It's one that I save and one that I use a lot. So hit Create Design and you'll have the artboard like this. Okay, so I'm gonna close these just to go to here. Oh, I thought I had that open. Just to go here, and to get this like this, we're just going to drag in that one that we got the screenshot. So bring it in here. You can see that's the one that I got. And then just like the last time, if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to do it again. Position, layers, come in here, do this set images background, and just like that. But I forgot one step, so let's go back. You can undo it from the background. Detach from background. What you want to do is go to transparency and bring this down to like 50 or so. It's like that. And then come in here and do set image as background. Boom, perfect. All right, so now we don't need this one. I'm going to get rid of that one. And what we're going to do is, just like we did the last time, we're going to try and find a font that matches this. So we're just going to do the text first in black, just so we have it as a placeholder. So come in here, text, click on that, add a heading, and double click on it and type in all caps, Just Dad. There we go. And let's make it kind of big here. And you notice this has some serifs. Those are the things up there and here and right there. Those are serifs. If it wasn't that, it would be sans serif without serifs, or no serifs. I can come in here and just do serif, right? And it's also a vintage font, so you might want to type in vintage serif. Let's try that. I'm sure there'll be a bunch. There you go. We got serif, slab serif, Minchco. I don't know what that is. Minchco, if you know, let me know in the comments. But we can try these. Like, nope, that's too thin. Nope, that doesn't look. So you can look. This has serifs, but look how it comes in like that. So go through here and try and find one that looks like it. These that have the carrots here, they mean that there's other ones in there. So if you open this up, there's a regular and a bold. So this one would be bold enough, but look at that J. You see the J here? It doesn't go down, but this one does. So we don't want to use that one. Let's see this one. That one could work, actually. It's not exact, but it's kind of thick. I like the look of it. So let's do IBM. Let's see if there's others. What I would do is, like I did in the last one, hold down Option, click and drag. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to beat this one. So let's go here and let's see if there's others that are better. Nope, that J. Nope, that's not even close. This one may be a bold. Let's see, heavy. Ooh, oh no, that J. See, this is why we do this, and we just keep going down and seeing if there's something else that works better. Let's see, I don't know. We might have to just stick with that one. This one's kind of cool. It's not exact, but you can see it's thick, so that's a bonus. Let's see, this one bold. No, a lot of the J's come down like this. No, bitter. I'm just gonna do a few more here. Let's see. Oh no, but that J does that. Yearbook solid. No, that's not it. Ooh, that's kind of a fun one. Anyway, we can do this for a while just to see what we have here. Oh, this one has potential. Let's see, is there bold? Yeah, is there extra bold? That could work. You'll notice that this is more condensed. Luckily, there's a Claridon Narrow, which is kind of condensed, so I can do bold there. I think that might be better. Let's make it the same size. I wish it was more condensed, but at least it's bolder than this one here, so I think I like that one better. Let's just stop there. Of course, I'm sure there's a better font, a more condensed font. In fact, let's do that. Let's do one more and come in here and do condensed. Aha, maybe that's the one thing that we need to do. We got some good ones. That one doesn't have any serifs. This one, nope, nope, nope. That's Frutiger. No. So I don't see any good condensed ones that have serif. Now, we don't always have to have a serif. Like, we're not trying to copy this exactly. So this one, this could be an alternate, because you can see that it's pretty close to like how thin it is. So depending on what you want, I'm just going to stick with the serif one for now. Of course, you can change it. I'm going to Option, click, drag, and do this who always came, who always, it's going to be smaller, came, okay, and we'll make this, you notice it's as big as this is wide, so trying to be like that, and Option, click, drag, back with the milk. All right. And then let's make sure that it's the same width here. Cool. Okay. Not exactly, you can see it's not the same height, but it's okay because we're just using this as a guide and we may change the word, so it might not matter that much. The next thing we want to do, we can see behind here are several rectangles. So let's do that. I'm going to go to shapes, or scroll up, elements, then shapes down here, and let's grab one of these. And what I like about this is I can come in here, grab this corner, and just make it exactly. See, this is one of the benefits of having it underneath, is that we can kind of get the right shape. Again, we're going to make this black like that. And let's drag this down, boom, drag this down, boom, drag this down, boom. All I'm doing is the same thing that I did with the text, right? Click, hold down Option, Shift, and drag, and then release the shift. So now we can do this and kind of use this as a guide. Where does it come up here? Let's see. I think, oh, there we go. I think I did too many. There it is. Or does this one come down? Oh, there, right there. There's the line. And then do like that. Good. And the last thing was a Bigfoot with milk. I don't think we can find a Bigfoot with milk, but let's do Bigfoot just so we have something. I'm going to go to Elements. I'll go back here and do Bigfoot. All right. And we can pick any one of these. Let's do this guy right here. Because it's black, we can't see it, but that's okay. Maybe, well, let's just make it a different color so we can see it. There we go. All right, that's it. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit duplicate page, boom. Okay, so now we have our version and we have the other version. So on the first page, what I'm gonna do is get rid of all of the text and stuff that I did, just the background, because we're gonna go back to position, release it, and detach, just so that we have the colors. So I'm gonna make it bigger here, and we're gonna use these colors now. So I'm gonna come here and go to position and release this background and then get rid of it. So I can just, is there a delete? Yeah, delete background, boom. All right, so next thing is next, I'm gonna come in here, pick the color for the text, and then click on here and then use my eyedropper and pick the color that was here, this red, like that. There you go. And we can do the same thing with the rectangle here. Come in here, scroll up, use the eyedropper, boom, pick that color. Now it should be the same color as this one. I think I have it here already when I did it before. So I'm coming here and do it's kind of a gray orange. You can change it too, so you don't always have to do that color. Like if you want it red, like go and make it red, but these two are the same color, right? So I think it's kind of that gray orange in this case, but we can change the color. So same thing with this one. Come in here, click on here. Oh, let's scroll up. Use the eyedropper tool and pick kind of this next color here, and so on. So you can see how we're doing that. And I've already done it, so I'm gonna come down here, and here's what we came up with. So just a dad, we got the colors here. I put a color behind. You can see that circle so that this shows through. This is not going to be our final here. I just wanted to see if I could get any closer to this. Now what we're going to do is, because this is already done, the who came back home with milk, and we don't want to do this exact same thing, we're going to change the text. And one of the things that's important is to find a great photo or graphic. That's the thing that's going to catch in these simple designs. When there's a vintage sunset and just text, the graphic is the strong thing, and that's the thing that stood out here. Like, this graphic is really cool. This graphic actually tells a story. It has different than any other Bigfoot graphic, right? This Bigfoot has sunglasses, it's holding a milk, so it's really funny when you see that graphic, it hits. So that's the kind of thing that we want to do when we look for one. And right now, if we look for Bigfoot stuff, like this one was okay, but like the milk doesn't really match it. And you could use AI to kind of put these two together and say, I want Bigfoot holding a milk, but we're not going to do that because we don't want just a dad who's always come back with the milk again with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it. So let me show you some things that I did. So this one is just a dad who loves fishing. I used the same colors, and this is a knockout or silhouette of dad with his son. Now, it's not the nicest vintage graphic out here, but it does tell a story. It's a dad with his son fishing, right? So that's really cute. I think it can pull some heartstrings there, and you could even put who loves fishing with his family or loves fishing with his son or stuff like that to match this too. But I think just who loves fishing gets the idea because he loves it, because he's going out with his son. Pretty cool, right? The next one I did here was just a dad who loves to eat barbecue. There's lots of dads and it's grilling time. I couldn't really find a good one for a barbecue grill, and if you find one, then you could put it in here. But this one has a lot of color. It stands out. It has some ribs. I think it matches the color that's already here, and so that's why I picked this graphic. So the idea is not to just pick any graphic in here. Like, let me show you a bad graphic just so you can see the difference. I'll do barbecue. Just putting a hot dog like this, like, it's not anything special. I don't think a dad would want a hot dog like this so to wear. Again, let's see, this hot dog, like, it's even less less impressive, right? Now let's see, as far as barbecue grill, like that that doesn't look like something a dad would wear. So that's why the graphic is the thing that sells. Here, I think this is, yeah, that's the barbecue right there. So go through it, look at it. You're gonna have to kind of decide on your own, like, is this a graphic that will hold the t-shirt? Here's another one. This one has a vintage style. Since we're going for the vintage style, this one has 80s music on it. Oh, by the way, let me take off the distress texture so you can, we'll do that later. But this is the design. Now, not all of them look like this. So if I did cassette tape, like that, like this one isn't as cool as this one. You can see the difference, right? Like, look how cool and vintage this look, and look at this, it's kind of flat with some colors, it's just okay, but this one has the angle, it has the color, it has the shading, it just looks a lot better vintage wise or graphic wise. So take some time, pick one that looks like it matches the person that's going to wear it. Like a dad would probably not wear this color where it's kind of purpley pink and yellow and stuff, and like this doesn't look like it would be for a dad, but this one could, because it's a more of a vintage style and stuff, and maybe just like bring it and have it go outside of it and kind of breaking the edges. I think that's kind of cool too. Or maybe come in a little bit so we can see some of these colors come through down here. I think that would be great. So once you find the great graphic and change it, we still have the same layout. Next thing I want to show you is how to add the distress texture. Now I said you can do it in Canva, and that's kind of true, but you can't actually knock it out in Canva. But you can get the distress textures from Canva, and I'm just going to type in distress right here, texture, like that. And what you want to look for is one that's mostly white. You see these? Because when it's mostly white, you won't have that much coming out. I'll show you the difference with one mostly white and mostly dark. So this one's mostly white. You can see it's like that. And you also want this at the very top layer. So go to position. If it's not at the top, like this one isn't, bring it all the way to the top so that it's covering everything, and then stretch it out so that it covers the text as well as the graphic below, and you should be able to see it come through here and come through here, and then you can lift it up a little if you want it to go over some of the other things. So there you go. Now I'll show you the difference between that and, let's do one that has too much black. Look at this. If it's too black, you'll see it's too distressed. Even if we put it at the top here, again, like you can't read it. It's too dark, right? So pick the ones in the distressed textures that are a lot less, lot more white. So like this one right here, you can see a lot more white. Bring it up like this. And you can play around with these. Make sure, again, it's at the top. For some reason, it likes putting it above that one. And I think this one turned out great. You can kind of zoom in here and see. It doesn't have to be too much. So a little goes a long way. As long as it's on some of the text and some of the background and some of this, I think it does really well. Okay, so next step, what you want to do, let's say this is the one we want to do with the distressed texture. What we want to do is hit share, come in here, download. We don't do the transparent background. We're going to download it just like it is. And let's just do the number 5 here, or whatever, number 7, page 7. We'll click on that and hit done. So now this will be downloaded to my downloads folder. The very next step we got to do is take this into a graphics program like Affinity Photo or Photoshop, or in our case, we're going to go to Photopea since it's free on the internet. So I'm going to get that and open up Photopea, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, the last step here, I'm in Photopea, photopea.com, totally free. Anybody can use it. It's because of these ads right here, makes it free. I'm going to bring in the design that went to my downloads folder. I'm just going to drag it in here. You can see just the dad. It opens it up here. Now, 2 steps that you need to do. So first, just go to the magic wand, that's this one right here, click on it, and click on the black here. Now you can see it doesn't select everything. There's something in the middle here, the zeros, and some of the little specks inside of here it didn't select. To do that, we need to go to select, and then we can either do similar or color range. I'm going to just do similar, like that. And it's thinking about it. It's going to do it. There you go. You can see all the little marching ants inside of here, as well as inside the A, inside the O, and things like that. And all you got to do now is hit backspace, delete. Boom. That is it. So when I scroll in, you can see it knocked those things out. Look at that. Pretty cool, right? So I'm going to scroll back out, and all we got to do is come in here, File, Export as PNG, and we can title this whatever we want. It says just a dad. You can do just a dad who loves 80 music. Make sure that it's 4500 by 5400. It should be, because that's the size we saved it at in Canva. And we can just hit save. It will save to our desktop, I believe, if not the downloads folder. And I'm going to open it up here so you can see that indeed it is a transparent background. So here it is. The gray means that it is a transparent background, and you can upload this, drag this into your Amazon or your TeePublic or Printify, however you do it, and it's totally done there. So pretty easy to do this distress texture, and we have a layout now. We can save this vintage background or this vintage sunset for other stuff, but we have a nice layout according to what we saw on Walmart. Everything's all in a tall rectangle. We got the right colors and everything, and it just looks great. It looks vintage. I think it will definitely work. Make sure, again, like the graphic is the thing that holds these simple designs. So make sure it's something that, in this case, that a dad would wear. You can't just pick any cartoon, any drawing out there. It needs to be something, either a silhouette that a dad would wear or a vintage graphic, something like this, that a dad would wear. And that comes with kind of practice. Go ask your dad, or if someone you know would like this graphic, you can kind of bounce ideas off of them, and ask people, is this something a dad would wear? And in this case, I think so. It's a nice graphic. It's very nostalgic, very 80s, and most dads, at least dads that were born in the 70s or 80s, kind of relate to this. Even those that were born in the 90s, I think, could relate to something like this. So there you go. That's the full tutorial for another design found on the internet. If you want to see more of these, let me know in the comments. We can go out and see what other designs we can find. I think this was really helpful to kind of see the step-by-step how to find the designs, and as well as create a vintage background and the distressed texture inside of Canva. We're learning more and more in Canva. It can do a lot. Thanks again for watching. If you want to see that video and you haven't seen it yet, I'll put that video here where I did the Target t-shirt in Canva, so you can see some other things that Canva does. Thanks again for watching, and as always, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.